Tonight, from Orchard Park, New York, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills taking on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
There's a look at Bills Stadium here in Orchard Park, New York. The folks in Buffalo love their Bills, and a moment ago they entered to the delight of this sold-out crowd. They're set for football as their Bills will do battle with the Baltimore Ravens. And we are underway in Buffalo. Taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Out comes the offense for the Bills, led by their quarterback at 6'5". That's Josh Allen.
And, partner, when you hear about a 6'5", 235, 240-pound quarterback, you don't often think of him being overlooked coming out of high school, do you? That's exactly what happened to Josh Allen. Overlooked, ended up going to a junior college, Reedley Community College out in California, before matriculating to the University of Wyoming, and the Cowboys were so glad to get him.
Devin Singletary with his first carry of the game. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. A play fake to Singletary, and now it's Allen. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Isaiah McKenzie that time, and it'll bring up third down.
An early message that this secondary is going to be tested because even though it fell incomplete, it almost felt like a warning shot to get things going.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Allen going deep for Diggs. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. Here comes the Ravens on offense, and the man in charge from Louisville, the former MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Allow me a second here to gush because in his college career, the only player in NCAA history to rush for over 1,500 yards and pass for over 3,500 yards in a season, and he did it twice.
That's pretty good.
That's really good. Yet he only won the Heisman Trophy once.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. After the interception, here's Jackson. Brought in left side by Snead. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit.
And he will have a Ravens first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
And now he'll tuck it and run. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards there and a first down.
Well, I can certainly tell my age, partner, because when I was a kid, running backs like J.K. Dobbins with over 2,000 yards in their final season in college, they went early in the draft. Instead, he somehow lasted until the 2nd round. But how great is it to get a guy with that ability who can run it inside, run to the perimeter, and catch the football out of the backfield? To be able to get him in the 2nd round, that's what I call a steal.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. And that'll set them back 5. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to take off with it. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him, and he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Dobbins running out of the gun. A good display of power, but it will only get him just inside the 5 to the 4. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Jackson from the shotgun. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. From 4 yards out. And the Ravens have taken the early lead. Justin Tucker for the extra point. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Taken in the end zone. And Roberts choosing not to bring this one out. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. A gain of 6 there on first.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Allen going to throw. And he'll get this underneath to Singletary. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
We got 3, fellas. We got 3.
Allen going to give this one to Singletary. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Now it's 2nd and 9. So the shotgun snap to Allen. And incomplete.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Throwing now is Allen. He can run for it, and he will. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
That was a good effort there trying to do it on his own, but as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you, and if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the number one thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground.
The drive will start with an option going left. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
Well, that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. To throw is Jackson. He'll buy some time right. And he's going to keep it. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 45-yard line. Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
2nd and 8 coming up. Off the play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Ed Oliver, the defensive tackle, getting in there for a loss of 5.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. From the gun, Jackson. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Andre Roberts is deep for Buffalo. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Excellent placement. And off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. It's like, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner. Now the first carry for Zach Moss. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on second down. On second down, here's a run with Singletary. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And he's able to find Diggs. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Allen to Diggs there for a Buffalo first.
And that's a much-needed completion right there on third down. Really a sigh of relief, isn't it? They're backed up deep. You know they don't want to give the ball back to the other guys with great field position. They needed that throw, that completion, that first down.
Thanks to that last play, a little more room to operate. 1st and 10 at the 18. Allen now looks to throw. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Well, when you've got a tight end who can run, you've got to give him a shot to unlock the defense. Want to see what they can get, taking the big shot downfield. That one winds up incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw again. Allen. It's brought in complete. It's John Brown. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll try and run for this with Singletary. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive alive.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
First and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
They'll run here with Singletary. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. On 2nd and 11 now. Allen. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Allen now on first down. Rolling to his right. He's going to take off with it. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Second and 9.
From the gun, Allen. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 33. A gain there of 21 yards.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 down at the 33.
Now Allen going to give it to Moss.
He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown.
Zach Moss.
33 yards. And the Bills are an extra point away from tying the football game. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Extra point forthcoming. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So that one a long 11-play drive. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
Taking it about the 1. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23.
He'll throw from the gun.
Caught by Snead over the middle. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4. These two teams all tied after 1. Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. From the gun, it's Jackson. Out to his left. He'll run it. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
Well, we've seen Jackson already have success in the first half running the football, and he gets good yardage on the ground again there. I mean, I know it's a $64,000 question, CD, but how do they contain him better?
You have to win against the blockers ahead of you. If those guys even occupy a defender for even a half a second, then Lamar Jackson is gone. You've got to take those blockers and move them so that you have clear vision of Lamar Jackson, and hopefully you can hem him in.
Gets around him. And he will be taken down inside the Buffalo 20. That one good for 37 yards.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set. Fifth defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there.
Jackson, he's going to keep it himself.
And they'll get him down right around the 16. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
A 2nd and 7 with our score tied at 7, but they're planning to change that soon. Only question, will they get 3 or 6 out of it?
Flushed out right. Now he'll pull it down, and he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he gets halfway there, down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
That's someone who's pretty happy right there. That's the defensive coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
2nd and goal from the 1. Jackson. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown there to make the grab, and the Ravens have taken the lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening, but they found the opening and exploited it.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Takes this about 5 yards deep, and Roberts choosing not to bring this one out.
And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
He'll give it to Singletary here to start the drive.
He finds an opening past the 40. And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards. It moves the sticks.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had 3 tight ends in on that set.
And these guys are punching really well. I use boxing analogies a lot. A lot of coaches have told me that when you line up to run the football, it's 10 fistfights along the line of scrimmage, right? You've got to win your share. These 3 tight ends, they almost always win their fistfights.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Singletary. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Operating from the gun, Allen, and his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for Devin Singletary there, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The Bills on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Going deep for Diggs. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
The Bills send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
He fakes the give here and looks to throw.
He'll try and run it. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a 1st down.
Jackson going to run.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
An extra defensive back here for the Bills on third down. From the gun, Jackson got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Buffalo set to get the football back here and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Singletary to get the drive started. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Operating from the gun. Allen finding Knox there, complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Singletary here running out of the gun. And down he goes just beyond the 35, and that pretty move got him some extra space to run. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They'll run out of the gun with Singletary. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. He really hasn't been able to get on track running the football, averaging less than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, I think that they're going to enjoy the film session because all the defenders are filling their proper gaps on just about every play. And you know what they always say for a defensive coach? When I click off this film, I better see 11 jerseys in the picture going after the ball carrier.
Now on 3rd and 2, they're going to elect to throw with Allen. And he's going to lose a yard or 2, taken down behind the line. Calais Campbell finding his way home for the sack.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
The Bills send the punter out as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback.
Baltimore about ready to go on offense. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And from the shotgun, he'll throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing again. Jackson. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. From the gun, Jackson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Andrews. And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Jackson to Andrews on that one. 1st down, Baltimore. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Jackson going to tuck it down on the option. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
Here's 2nd and 9. Operating from the gun, Jackson. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. That'll bring up 2nd down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line to hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
On 3rd down, Jackson. He'll find Dobbins out of the backfield. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
So they run the option here on 1st and 10.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. And here's Jackson on the option.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And he is going to have the 1st down, and that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot and forced the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver so that he can't possess the football and turn it into a catch.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw again. Jackson stepping up. He's going to keep it. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
Well, another fine run right there for Lamar Jackson, and CD, that one puts him over 100 yards now for the ball game.
And remember when all we talked about were 100-yard games from running backs? That when a quarterback did it was a surprise? With Lamar Jackson, that's part of the package as well. He'll have as many 100-yard games in a season as the top running backs in the league.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the gun, Jackson. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
So much for the best laid plans and best designed plays. That was good coverage along the sidelines. No place for that one to get in there. It sails incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Jackson. That's complete to his running back, J.K. Dobbins. And the Ravens are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another 1st down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
They'll come out in the pistol. They'll try to run with Dobbins. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Second and goal from the 1.
One set.
Jackson from the shotgun. Rolling to his left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone. And that's exactly what he did there.
Tucker now for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So that, amazingly, a 17-play drive. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this carries into the end zone. And Roberts choosing not to bring this one out. The football back to the Bills and Stephon Diggs. He'll try to generate some more steam on offense down to the scoreboard second quarter. Not necessarily his fault, but he's always a guy they want to get extra involved.
Keep finding ways for him to get the football. Keep force-feeding him in that way. Get to the half. Kind of reboot. Start over again to try and erase the other things that have them down on the scoreboard.
They'll be looking for a little more juice here in the second quarter before they do hit that halftime locker room. On first down, Allen. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number one. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
58 to Mike, 58.
From the gun, it's Allen. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he is going to have a Bills first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Watch the slant, watch the slant. And 58 is a Mike.
And again, it's Allen. On the left side, he finds Beasley. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Again, they'll throw with Allen. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Now Allen again. The left side caught by Diggs. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Defense was expecting run, and they're dealt a pass of over 15 yards.
Oh, that was a pretty route right there because it's all about finding a window on a route like that. He lined up on his left, ran the deep in route over the middle, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Really good trust between quarterback and receiver. Really good completion.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to, as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. Taking it about the 1. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. On the option, it's Jackson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Fighting him off. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On 3rd down, here's Dobbins. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. And that'll be complete to Dobbins.
The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
He's going deep for Brown. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far as the Ravens push further out in front.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Tucker now to add the point after. And the lead is up to 18 now. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will make it into the end zone. And Roberts choosing not to bring this one out. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. On the ground, it's Singletary, and he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Working out of the shotgun, here's Allen, and his throw is incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
They'll roll him out right. He may try and run for this. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rounding, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. The Bills send the punter out as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Ravens offense back out there. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
2nd and 6. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. Oh, fighting off the defender. A nice job getting free on the return for 13 yards. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Off the play fake, he'll set up to throw it. Stepping up, he'll try and run. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain. They will run with Singletary. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
58, right over there.
They go right back to Singletary. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That 2nd down play nets a -4. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything. Change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down.
58 for Mike, 58.
Now Allen. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. I don't know how well our microphones are picking it up for those of you at home, but Charles, you and I can hear it. A lot of groans right now coming from this crowd.
I don't know if we're picking up what's happening in the stadium or from the people who are supporting this team at home because it's coming through loud and clear to you and me. This offense, they've been stuck in neutral much of the game, and on that last play, they actually went in reverse. I think this crowd would have liked neutral, don't you?
Yeah, neutral would have strongly been preferred. They'll take anything positive at this point.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And this is going to double their room to maneuver, able to get it from the 5 to the 10-yard line.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this second down call after that type of a gain.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll go again with Dobbins. And not much there at all, as he'll get this only up to about the 11. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
He'll buy some time right. He can run for it, and he will. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
And, Brandon, this is the time of the game when Jackson could really take over. He's got the defense's legs a little bit tired. He's got them on the run.
Yeah, this defense looks gassed, and you're exactly right. Second half with the lead, this is when Lamar Jackson seems to thrive. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. On the option, Jackson will keep it. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. An option handoff here to Dobbins. And he's going to have a Ravens 1st down as he gets us up past the 30 to the 32.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Andrews. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They'll try and run the option left side. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 4 yards there on the keeper, but still going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for over the defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Now Jackson. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Here's Sam Cook now, as he's on to punt for Baltimore. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
Buffalo set to get the football back here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Throwing on first down is Allen. Works right side into the hands of the tight end, Knox. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's second down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
Throwing again on second down. Allen steps away, and now he's going to use his legs. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Josh Allen, very athletic at 6'5", showing the versatility, picking up the first on the scramble.
Normally we're talking about a quarterback duel where they're matching each other pass for pass. How about the footwork in this one? Both of these guys running the ball well.
Yeah, they've mixed in the run game. You're exactly right. Now, both coaches might not like how much their quarterbacks have taken off, but another example right there of just good mobility. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the counter, this is Singletary. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Second and 11. They'll run here with Moss. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
I think it might be time to move to a different section of the playbook there because back-to-back runs, both for loss. Now they have 3rd and long coming up.
The last 2 plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. So the shotgun snap to Allen. And he completes it to the tight end, Knox. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. That one goes for 36 yards.
Still all sorts of time left in this game, and you'd like to be able to say take it one play at a time. But the truth is, they're probably going to have to hit on a few big plays in the passing game to close this gap, and that's a good start right there.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. The tackle made by L.J. Ford.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
You got 3 down.
Singletary again. And down inside the 15 he goes. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Let's go. 58 Mike, 58 Mike.
From the red zone now. They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to take off with it. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
From the 6 now on 2nd and 3. And now they'll throw with Allen. This is caught. And the Bills are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. Allen to Beasley, 1st down, Buffalo.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll look to run with Singletary. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. To the air, Allen. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Calais Campbell, his 2nd sack of the night.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. About a half yard from the end zone, 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun, Allen. He may try and run for this. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
So this was a case of better safe than sorry. All the receivers were locked up, so he had to try and run for it, but he ended up having to slide short of the marker.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. The kick by Bass is good. And the Bills are forced to settle for 3. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
He'll start with a handoff to Dobbins. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27th. So fourth quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Ravens on third down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he's got Snead. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Jackson to Snead that time. First down, Baltimore. You know, Lamar Jackson last season, the first NFL quarterback with 3,000 or more passing yards and 1,000 or more rushing yards in the same season.
And we've seen both of those talents on display here today. We just saw another completed pass. And everyone knew coming out of college he could run the ball. But for some reason, we didn't analyze it throwing the way we should have. And I think every time he completes a pass, he says to himself, take that, evaluators. You guys really missed the boat on me.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. He can run for it, and he will. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a first down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Jackson's going to look to run it. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson. His 2nd touchdown of the night, and the Ravens will extend their lead. So the lanes continue to be there for Lamar Jackson to run that football. That his 2nd touchdown run of the game.
You know what I would like? I'd like for us to be able to go into a defense's room after playing Lamar Jackson and watch the tape and see how much of a lane was really there and how much he created just through his talents. In any event, Lamar Jackson finds the end zone, doesn't he?
He always seems to, but that's a good point. We sometimes put blame on the defense. Maybe we just need to praise Lamar Jackson a little bit more. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Taken in the end zone. And Roberts choosing not to bring this one out. The Bills offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
right?
Yeah,
a little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
58 for Mike, 58.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
What we got? 58. What's that? 58. Come on. We got to get the ball. Get the ball.
From the gun, Allen sliding out of the pocket. And he's going to keep it here. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down. From midfield, here's Allen. Allen hit. He lost the football. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Allen now on first down. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice gains, that one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
But you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. A quick throw going to be caught by Diggs. The Bills passing game, getting them down the field. They've got another first down.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
They run here with Singletary. And the Bills are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
Again, it'll be Singletary. And he takes it in across the chalk for a Bills touchdown. Devin Singletary, taking it in. And the Bills cut into that lead. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there. Each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
So Allen breaks the huddle, and his guys will go for 2 here. Here's Allen, and unable to connect. They don't get the 2-point conversion here. Popular down near the goal line, quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was. One of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. This will make it into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. And now here come the Ravens. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Jackson going to look to do it himself. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, he's had success running the football in this one. Yeah, that's undeniable, but that time the defense was on to it.
And, partner, I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formations and looks.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Jackson from the shotgun. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Here's Sam Cook now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here now, Roberts. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26.
And from the shotgun, he'll throw. Finding Knox there, complete.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. Decent start there to the drive. Big hill to climb, needing 2 touchdowns, also a 2 two-point conversion.
So, partner, how do you eat an elephant?
I don't eat an elephant. Who eats elephant?
But if you do it one bite at a time.
Okay.
That's the way they've got to play this. One play at a time. Yes, there's urgency, but they have to be careful as well.
Let's go with like a 50-ounce ribeye.
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
All right, I'm with you.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Allen. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 13 and a Buffalo first down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Allen throwing complete to Brown, and he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 more for him on that one. He's been a busy man. It's a first down.
Well, so far, little to no resistance by the defense on this drive alone. 3 passes, 3 completions, 3 first downs. They're taking it to him, and it's paying off.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
On first down, Allen. And he'll get this underneath to Singletary. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Allen, he hits Beasley right side. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Allen to throw once more. He's going to take off with it. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw again on 2nd down. Allen. Looking sideline, incomplete. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Now Allen. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Well, they knew a lot of steps had to happen here. They got step 1, the touchdown. You need a 2-point conversion here, don't you?
You do, and as you continue to look ahead, if they're able to get that, somehow get the ball back and get another score, they have to go for 2 again. That's why teams are practicing multiple 2-point plays.
We saw that in Super Bowl 51 with the Patriots getting a pair of big 2-point conversions. So the touchdown was big. This almost equally big as he'll try to get it to a 1-score game with a 2-point conversion. Dancing to his left. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. And hold the phone now. This game isn't over yet.
Not at all. Now, get the football back. That's the first thing. However you do it, get the ball back and then manipulate the clock with your offense because you've got to get the ball into the end zone.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see him take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Another run here with Dobbins. A very tough run, but for a short gain out near the 32. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they will take a knee here. On second down, a run with Dobbins. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
Well, they went back to him, but the results were similar, so I highly doubt that he'll get another opportunity here on 3rd and long.
The last 2 plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. Down to a knee goes Jackson, and that should seal it. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say good night from Buffalo.